Alright, here we are with some Mortal Kombat 1. This might be my final Ermac video. I'm gonna give some final impressions on Ermac, how I feel about the character. I've played about 50 matches with him, which obviously is not enough to master the character, but it is enough to get an understanding of what the character does, you know, what his game plan is. And the reason why I say this is this might be my final Ermac video is because we're on the 4th DLC character, and I'm now really starting to realize that you could add the greatest DLC character in a video game ever to Mortal Kombat 1, and it doesn't change the game around it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't change how mediocre everything in this game is. And I've really come to this conclusion because Omni-Man was so much fun. Quan Chi was horrible. Peacemaker was so much fun. We have Omni-Man and Peacemaker, two DLC characters that, if they were in any other Mortal Kombat game, besides 11, if they were in MK9 or MKX, I would be playing that game every day. But I played them for a week maximum. I played Peacemaker for like 2 or 3 days. How can I love a character and only play them for a few days? And I'm just starting to realize that it's the game. It's the game itself that makes it hard to continue playing these characters. It really is. And Ermac is the prime example of that. So, Ermac is another character that's an absolute banger. They did not miss with this character. Unfortunately, the game around him is so mediocre that it clashes with the way his gameplay is designed. And mainly what I'm talking about here is the netcode. The netcode in this game isn't great, but it's not bad. It's playable 90% of the time. But unfortunately for Ermac, playable netcode does not cut it. The netcode has to be perfect. And if you play smoke in this game, you know how hard it is to consistently do smoke cancels, right? Especially online. Online, the input delay always feels like it's changing. Sometimes the game freezes and stutters depending on the person's Wi-Fi. The reason I'm playing this guy right here, the reason why I'm showing this footage is because this was the least laggy match I've had with Ermac, and it really allowed me to do his cancels somewhat consistently, and go a little crazy. So, Ermac offline, in training mode, feels amazing. He's so much fun. But then you go online, and his very gameplay design is countered by online itself. Because he is arguably the hardest character in the game. He has the hardest execution out of any character in this game. And it's very precise. It's so precise that even 1 to 2 to even 3 frames of input delay can completely ruin your game plan. And if you play smoke, you know how hard smoke cancels are. But you also know that you can play smoke without doing smoke cancels. You can manage and you can get by. Because smoke has, you know, pretty strong mix-ups and very high damaging combos. The problem with Ermac is that he was designed to use his cancels. Because his cancels are broken. Most of his cancels are safe and plus. So he's really designed to go for super long, crazy block strings, right? That's how he's designed. The problem is that his damage is the lowest in the game. He does the least amount of damage with every out of every character. That's not a problem if you could use Ermac the way he was intended. But unfortunately, because of the netcode of this game, a lot of your matches, you're not going to be able to consistently do cancels. And that's the unfortunate problem with this game, because I haven't said that sentence in so long. Netcode preventing you from doing stuff consistently. That hasn't been a problem in so many years in fighting games, but it's a problem in MK1. The netcode is not great, and the problem with Ermac is that he needs it to be perfect, because his cancels are so strict. Now, of course, right, you can get good with Ermac, you can learn to play him online, but in my opinion, there should be no reason why I have to play a game and I have to learn how to play a character simply because he plays differently online. That's some PS3 type stuff. We're on the PS5, alright? We're 2 generations past that. I understand that netcode was bad in the past, but we've solved that problem already. I shouldn't have to play a character differently because I'm playing him online. I shouldn't have to rewire my brain on specific timings to play him online. And that's the main problem with Ermac, because, again, he's an amazing character. He's one of the most fun characters in the game. He's just a very creative character, and he really is, like, he really goes crazy. Once you get those cancels, he is, like, unstoppable. The problem is that the cancel timing can literally change every single match because of the netcode. And it's just very hard to continue playing a character like that, especially in a game that has the amount of brain-dead characters that this game does. Because this game is a very degenerate game. It has a lot of brain-dead characters. And unfortunately, Ermac ain't one of them. And it's very frustrating just trying to do basic stuff with Ermac. And here's the thing. Ermac's combos are some of the hardest in the game. You're going to hit that full combo and you're going to do 38%. That's just the way it is. You're going to do the hardest combo you've ever done with Ermac. The hardest combo in Mortal Kombat 1. And you're going to look at that damage and it's going to say 38%. And that's just the way it is. Because Ermac was designed to be the most plus on block character in the game. Utilizing his cancels to do so. And to balance that, he does the least amount of damage in the game. But unfortunately, that game design just doesn't work with the netcode. Because you don't get the plus on block online because you aren't getting the cancels consistently online. All you're getting is bad damage, and that's the problem. And like I said, you can easily learn to adapt and get good with Ermac for online play. You can do that. I don't want to say easily, it's probably not easy, but it is definitely possible to do that. The problem is, it's just, do I care enough to do that? And that's why this might be my final Ermac video, because I just feel like I shouldn't have to learn how to use a character's mechanics because of the environment of the online play for that specific match. I just think that that's very primitive by this point. So overall, I feel like Ermac could be the most fun character to play and watch in the game. However, the game itself is holding him back because this game does not have amazing netcode. And his cancels are the most strictest timing thing in the entire game. The timing is so strict on them that I can't compare it to anything else in the game, maybe besides Smoke's cancels as well. But again, unlike Smoke, he has been designed to use those cancels every single match, every single opportunity that he can. And it's just not possible with the netcode of this game without playing tons and tons and tons of matches. So yeah, I love the character. They did him justice. They did great. But again, I'm starting to realize that no matter how good these characters are, the game itself around it just stops me from playing. Because, again, bad netcode. The netcode didn't matter too much on the other characters, but for Ermac, you can feel it, and it's very frustrating. I can only imagine when Ermac dies down and his hype dies down, and you stop getting Ermac mirror matches, and you're fighting against these brain-dead characters, and you're just trying to do a basic Ermac cancel, and you can't, and the other opponent is just Dougieing in your face, and you can't do nothing about it because of the netcode. That's probably the worst feeling on the planet. Combined with the game's matchmaking being horrible, I can get triple the amount of matches on Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6, right? I'm sitting here for 1 to 2 minutes just to get into a single game, because you have to find the game, that person has to accept you. After they accept you, you go to the character select, and then you're in the game. Obviously, offline is not fun to play, really. It's only okay at best. I know they're improving it, which is good at least. Yeah, it's just overall, the whole package is just... It's rough. The game is just a rough game. And it sucks because Omni-Man was so much fun. Peacemaker was so much fun. And Ermac is also up there as well. But the game just holds him back because there's just really no reason to stick with the game over a game like Tekken 8 or Street Fighter 6. I feel like both those games really tackle everything that I need in a fighting game. And it really sucks because there was a time where Mortal Kombat was the best fighting game simply based off of the amount of effort and content put into them. And now it is... I can't think of a single reason why you would ever play this game over Tekken or Street Fighter. And Ermac is just more proof of that, because Ermac is a character that is being held back by the netcode of the game. Like, that's such a 2011 thing. That's some Mortal Kombat 9 stuff right there. So, again, if you're interested in checking Ermac, you won't be disappointed. Just know the game you're playing, right? Just know that you're playing Mortal Kombat 1. And it's not on par with the other fighting games. And you're gonna face problems in Mortal Kombat 1 that you don't have to face in Street Fighter and Tekken. And that's the hard part about playing these new characters, is that these amazing characters are in a game with problems from the PS3 generation. AKA no content, bad netcode that literally changes the way you have to play high execution characters. It's just not great. Overall, Ermac's very fun. I enjoy him. If you have Mortal Kombat 1 and you enjoy it somewhat, you will enjoy Ermac. Just know, though, that he is by far the hardest character in the game, and he was designed to be that way. He was designed to be that way. Because his, like I said, a very high execution, but low damage. You have to work for your damage. You have to do all these high execution things to get your damage. So, he was just designed that way. He was designed to be very difficult, but very rewarding if you can overcome that difficulty. But again, the netcode is working against you. That's the problem. The netcode is working against you. But in an offline setting, Ermac might be the most fun character in the game to play and watch. And what I will say is that I have no interest in watching a Mortal Kombat 1 tournament, but now I do, because I really would like to see a high-level player play Ermac in an offline environment. I think that would be really cool, especially with what this character can do. Because this character is essentially playing MK9/MKX, with the way he has to do these crazy cancels, and he has all these launchers, and he can convert off of anything. But again, I mean, you just saw that combo, right? You saw how crazy that combo is, and I used a cameo in it, and it was only 26%. 26% for all of that. Mind-blowing, but that's consistent with Ermac. It's very hard to break 40% with Ermac. But again, that's not a bad thing. He was designed... He's such a broken character that they had to give him low damage like that to compensate for how good of a character he is. But it's not free damage, it's not brain dead damage, which is something that I really enjoy, and it's really fun. Like, these matches I had against this guy were very fun, because the netcode was doing great. We both had great connections, so I was able to do everything. And it's the main reason why it's the only set in this video, because this is genuinely the only set where I felt like if I mess up a cancel, it's my fault and not the netcode. So, yeah. Overall, I really enjoy the character. The game is still not amazing, though, and it's just holding me back from really diving deep into the game. You know, like, subscribe. I'm going to have more Mortal Kombat in the future, more Tekken, more Street Fighter. And overall, I recommend Ermac. Peace.